As a student of photography, I have an obligation to experiment with as many aspects of the art form as possible. Unless you're willing to push boundaries and potentially break some rules, you'll never grow. On this landscape photography on-location trip, I wanted to experiment with my camera shutter speed to achieve a long exposure image of cloud and water. Hopefully you can see it. This group of rocks right here is very cool, and the grass is, it looks like a carpet that hasn't been disturbed. There's this nice little grove of green and gray, some kind of shrubbery. I don't know what it's called, but it caught my eye and I really want to take a photo of it. I don't know how to attach this microphone to a t-shirt, but we're gonna deal with it. Sometimes incidental photography opportunities create my favorite images during an outing. Instead of hyper-focusing on one photo that already exists in my imagination, I keep an eye on my surroundings so that when something catches my attention, like these boulders did, I don't miss out on what the landscape has to offer. Camera settings, f9, shutter speed is 1/160, ISO 100. Yeah, just super basic, very simple composition, not much to it, and yeah, I like it. It's pretty. It's nice. It's a nice way to get warmed up. I used to hike these trails all the time when I was in college, and I remember seeing a seasonal creek that created a waterfall cascading over boulders. And that's exactly what I was searching for. I felt like it would be a perfect subject for long exposure photography. The challenge, of course, was finding it again. Right across the ravine, you should see this well, it's kind of a bridge. It's orangish with some rocks. That's where I'm heading. It's a nice place to cool off, that's for sure. Almost there. It's just around this next bend. We made it. We made it. We're here. Right below me is this seasonal creek that I was telling you about. I'm gonna get set up, take some shots of this waterfall, and call it a day. So basically, bridge is behind me, big rock formation to my left. All right, steep little trail down here, which takes me to the waterfall, which is right here. You should be able to see there's this little seasonal waterfall. It's nothing spectacular, not what you'd see in like Arkansas or something, but it's what I've got to work with, and I don't know, it'll be a good subject because it's a very chaotic waterfall. We're going wide and vertical. I like that. This is super cool. All right, nice. Okay, so proper exposure at 1/1000th of a second, f4 gives me a nice, crisp waterfall image. Get rid of that guy, because that's distracting. Honestly, this guy's a little distracting too, so yeah, I'll do that. A lot of beautiful cloud formations up above, and that's 1/1000th of a second. If I want a longer exposure, I'm gonna need some filters. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with just a simple 6-stop ND filter. I don't want to do anything crazy yet. Just drop that in there and see where that leaves us. This is, I believe it's 6 seconds. Oh, no, 1/6 of a second. Okay. That's pretty cool. But how far is too far? You know, how much is too much? So let's swap that out with a 10 stop ND filter. 4 seconds. Should we push it even further? What if we put the 6 stop and the 10 stop on top of each other? Now we're 16 stops. All right, we're just gonna try a 1-minute exposure. See what happens. The last one was 4 seconds, 1 minute, right? So at 60 seconds, the camera literally had no way of checking exposure. So flying blind here. Oh, it's very dark. I'm just gonna boost my ISO to like 250 or something. Oh, there it is. All right. Well, I just got an overheat warning on my camera. I'm gonna turn things off. Hopefully the shot is in relative focus. I know that it's probably a little bit fuzzy, but it's proving the point I wanted to prove. And that's the important thing. Take a look at all 4 photos close up so you can see just how much impact the shutter speed has on the overall image. From left to right, shortest to longest, the water gets progressively more smooth and, dare I say, ethereal. But between 4 seconds and 60 seconds, there's not much of a difference unless you look at the clouds. The reason for this is that the slower your subject moves, the longer a photo's shutter speed needs to be to achieve that smooth, ambiguous look. The thing to keep in mind is that there is not one in this group of 4 images that is more correct than the others. They all have merit. It's more important to experiment with your exposures than to be afraid to make a mistake. So what I want you to do is go out there, different times of day, different length exposures, and just see what you think. Did you like the 60-second exposure that I did where, you know, the sun is, or not the sun, the sky is like painted with these brushed clouds? Or did you like the mid-ground exposure, that 4-second exposure that still captured quite a bit of detail in the sky, but had a little bit of blur in the water? Or the very short one that was only like 1/3 of a second or something like that, 1/4, where you could see it, almost all the detail in the water, but it was just a little blurred. Each one has its merit. I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but they're just fun to experiment with. So I appreciate you joining me. It's very hot, I'm very sweaty. I'm gonna hike out of here. See you in the next one. Bye.